That wasn't the case for Knicks center Precious Achiuwa, who I think some people around the league were wondering if he would be willing to take a minimum to go somewhere with potentially higher Eastern Conference contending odds. I want to say I heard one person say, like, what if Precious Achiuwa just took the minimum and went to Boston? Like, how much would that have really hurt the Knicks? You know, but that's just people drawing lines sometimes. He ends up re-signing with New York on a 1-year, $6 million deal, which our friend Fred Katz at The Athletic then further reported that Precious waived his bird veto rights, so he can be traded this season. So that's just an interesting little wrinkle. To me, I think it's more so interesting that he comes in at this number, which keeps the Knicks in good standing with luxury tax stuff. They'll continue to have flexibility, just like with potentially trading him to build this thing to contend with Boston. That is the ultimate goal here, that New York is doing everything they can to soup up this thing to try to get the shot and the crack at the Celtics that they were this close to getting a year ago. Or I guess in May.
Just feels like a year. It's been a long couple of months. It will
be a year ago when the time comes.
Sure. I think the Knicks bought they bought out the bird rights veto option by going to $6 million. That's my guess, is that it's like, if you want a contract that is higher than the minimum, which does not seem to be on offer for you anywhere else, it's going to be so that we can use this down the line. And the way to use it down the line is
a little quid pro quo.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the Knicks, because of all the wheeling and dealing they did around the Mikal Bridges trade and the signing back of OG Anunoby, the Knicks are over the first apron and hard capped at the second apron. Being over the first apron brings with it a bunch of restrictions. We've talked about some of those. One of them being you can't bring back more money in a trade than you send out. And the Knicks are a team where if they don't want to trade out of the top 8 of that rotation, they've got to find other ways to potentially aggregate some salary together to if they find a move they want to make in the season. Well, if you've got Precious Achiuwa at $6 million, which then does not put you over the second apron, or it puts you gives you enough space under the second apron to still be able to use your taxpayer mid-level exception, $5.2 million, if the Knicks want to do that. Well, you add a $6 million player and a $5 million player, and you've got $11 million in wiggle room, maybe at a minimum in there, and you're at like $13 or $14 million in wiggle room to be able to say, if we put that with some draft capital, you can go maybe shopping at the trade deadline for someone making $12 million who might be able to be a tangible impact player on a team with championship aspirations. So that's one way this can go, is that Precious Achiuwa, much like KJ Martin in Philadelphia, like we talked about, Rashawn Holmes in Washington, maybe even Jonas Valanciunas in Washington, Josh Okogie in Phoenix. These guys are sort of getting paid more to be able to be used as trade chips later under this new set of circumstances. The other way it could work out is Isaiah Hartenstein's gone and the Knicks really need somebody to play backup center. And by the way, Precious Achiuwa was pretty friggin' good for the Knicks when he actually got the chance to play last season after they came over in the OG Anunoby trade. Averaged over more than 7 points and 7 rebounds a game, shot well over 50% for them, was blocking shots, able to switch on defense. When they just got racked by injuries and he needed to start, he averaged, I think, like almost 13 and 10 for a month, whatever that was, between late January and early March. So a guy who has played minutes there actually fit in surprised me how well he fit in with Tom Thibodeau and what they asked of him on defense, and was somebody who made a real impact to a team that the vibe was good and they wanted to bring back as much of that as possible. So there's a walkway there or a runway there for him to be able to earn that backup center job and just make it so that the Knicks maybe don't need to go make some bigger move to add a bigger piece if they don't feel like they need to. But generally speaking, Tibbs has always wanted to play bigger five men than, a 6'8", 6'9" switch big. So maybe they still want to go out looking for that guy. This now affords them more opportunities to do that, either looking to aggregate salary for a bigger deal, or just saying, we got a $6 million salary we can flip for somebody that's still making money in that range. It gives them some more options and solves some problems for them in the short term too.